Welcome into 4th and 5, presented by Ortho Arkansas. And boy, we got some tape today. It's not going to be pretty. Very unfortunate performance that was put on the field against LSU for homecoming. We're going to break it all down. I try my best not to get into the weeds about just blabbering and about this, that, and the third. I just like to watch the tape and tell you what I saw. A lot of people got questions about a lot of things, and we're going to try to address those. That's the goal here, to give you answers. So the tape, like I said, is going to be tough. Hopefully you pay attention and follow along because we got a long one here today because there's just a lot to cover. Let me go ahead and give you the lineup real quick. So we're going to cover the first drive on defense, first drive on offense, and then I have to show you some things that I saw from the defense. And this is something that pops up a lot. Whenever we win, we talk about the praises for Travis Williams or Bobby Petrino, and we don't really talk much about Sam Pittman. When we lose, it's all Sam Pittman. Fire Sam, fire Sam, fire Sam. It's interesting to me how we don't talk about the coordinators when this happened. And as much as I love Coach Williams, LSU, they dialed it up, and I felt like for the first half at least had his number. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hopefully we can learn from this moving forward. I'm just trying to be fair, and I love Coach Williams. All right, and then we're going to get to the missed opportunities on the defense, and we're going to talk about these offensive possessions, about not being able to finish drives, and Taylon, once again, not getting the ball out where it needs to be on time. And if we have time by the end of this, we're going to talk about penalties. There's a lot of plays where penalties and officiating were the thing. So that's going to be the lineup for you here today. But before I move on any further, I have to give a big thank you to our new sponsor for our Monday breakdown, Greg Orr Auto Park in Searcy. And the way I wanted to do this sponsorship is allow somebody to then come on. If you're going to do the breakdown, I need you to do the breakdown. All right. So I'm going to reach out to a representative from Greg Orr. They're going to come on. I'm going to send them a play. They're going to do their breakdown, and then I'm going to tell them how good or bad they are. Y'all know me. I keep it real. So very excited about this partnership moving forward. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let me introduce you to Sam. You see him right here. Sam, big Razorback fan, reached out, wanted to be a part of 4th and 5. And first, before we kind of get into it, Sam, thank you for being part of this. And I'm just curious, what made you want to reach out and kind of help us keep doing what we're doing here at 4th and 5?
Yeah, so just retired from Frito-Lay, spent 25 wonderful years with that unbelievable company, and moved back to Arkansas. Been out in Salt Lake City for about 15 years. Came back to Arkansas and stepped in and talked to Alex Valencia, the GM at Greg Orr Auto Park. Called him one day after church, and we began talking. He said, "Have you ever thought about sales?" I said, "You know what? I sold some neckties at a garage sale about a month ago." And you know what? From then on, it was a match made. So I've been over there about 2 months now, DJ, and so wanted to just connect with you. I see you, the brand that you're building and so forth. Love the podcast. Have been subscribed since last year when you guys first started this, and just wanted to jump on board and be a part of this and help any way that I can to sponsor.
Okay, not only did you sponsor or help on to be a part of this, I threw you right into the fire. I figured if I'm going to have you sponsor the breakdown, I want to see your breakdown skills. All right, so I sent you a play last night, and you had time to kind of review it. So the floor is yours. I want you to go ahead and break down this play and your thoughts.
All right, DJ. Well, the first thing that I noticed, and you got to remember, it's been a long time since I've played football, so be patient with me. One of the first things that I noticed here, I did see LSU run this play 2 different times. I know they did once on their opening drive, and then again about midway through the second quarter. And I believe that what this particular play is, it's an adjustment, is what it is. So the first couple of times they ran the play, as you start to roll the clip here, you see our linebackers shifting, but I want you to watch there, Landon Jackson. There's a couple of frames here where he allows that offensive lineman to get his hands inside and get to his body there. And there's a couple of these frames, he's not even touching the ground. He's off the ground. This offensive lineman has placed him to the outside, no problem. But if you look at the linebacker, the other 2 times that they ran this play, you're going to see a double team top of the screen, and they ran to that side the other 2 times. They ran to that side. For one was for a 1-yard loss, I believe, and then the other one was for just a minimal gain. But I think Coach there on the other sidelines keyed in on number 10, our linebacker there on the offside, taking that step, reading off that double team. You look at his eyes on this play, he's looking at that double team. He's looking directly at that double team. The other linebacker there, he's looking in the backfield, and you see that just that one jab step to the left toward that double team, and then with Landon Jackson being pushed out, uh, just manhandled to the outside there. Really, LSU didn't have to do anything but make one block right there. We created the hole for them, and then of course, whenever he goes to cut him off, as you see the back hit the hole there, he takes a bad angle in the hole, and then it's just off to the races. And he catches him right at the very end, but he took a bad angle right there and missed him and tried to reach out and arm tackle him. And you're just not going to do that against LSU. No way. That's my breakdown.
I see you've done your. I see you've done your homework. You've done your homework. All right. And so, all right. What I have learned, Sam, is people appreciate most about this channel is I keep it real. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Give me your feedback, DJ.
All right. Here we go. So, all right, here we go. So I'm gonna do 1 through 5 stars. All right, we'll just make it easy, and I'll give your current breakdown based off what you just said. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars, and that's not bad because I never give out 5s. If I give out 5s, it better be a play to win a national championship type play.
Right,
all right, and so that's just how I roll. All right, all right. So I like what you said about the thing that really got my attention. What I like your eyes, and you're right, eyes on the backer, and I pointed out sorry on this play as well. And it's just lack of discipline. If you've been paying attention to the new addition to 4th and 5 and Matt Harris getting defensive with Matt Harris, he talks about you can't be selfish on the defensive side of the ball. He's a little bit too ball hungry, and he's getting out of his responsibilities. The reason Landon, I think, is doing what he's doing, and it seems like he's out of place. I mean, the down and distance. I can't remember off the top of my head. Was it 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20? I can't remember. It was a huge down and distance. So he's probably given the free range of pass rush. So most likely a passing down. If not, it's okay if they gain maybe 4 or 5 yards. And so he had free range to go in and out, just complete pass rush mode. And so what happens is you need to make sure that that backer, is maintaining his gap integrity. And there's no reason at all his eyes should be tucked inside. He should understand his gap responsibility. And I'm sure if you tune in Tuesday, you're going to hear Matt Harris talk about selfish ball or selfless ball. Right there, he's just trying to go make a play and get a tackle instead of just staying in his responsibility. And if he would have done that, by a product of default, he would have ended up making that play. So that one is on sorry 1,000% of the way. But I will say this for your first breakdown out of the way, Sam. That's not bad. All right. And 3.5 stars is a lot for me. Okay.
I'll take all 3.5.
That doesn't happen often because I'm very, very critical. Yeah. Now, but when it comes to 3.5 stars in your breakdown, we'll work on that number. But when it comes to selling cars, 5 stars. Tell us a little bit more about your business and what you want people to know about it.
Yeah. So right now, never been a better time to buy a new car. Like I said, when you go out and you're window shopping and so forth, and I know a lot of people are hesitant right now looking at the election and so forth, waiting to see what's going on. But right now, there's some sticker shock. But right now, GM, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, and Toyota, I represent all of those brands at Gregor Auto Park in Searcy, Arkansas. Every one of those brands have the deepest discounts we have seen in years. And I did a little comparison with some of the Ram and the GM trucks the other day. Right now, GM is offering 0% financing to well-qualified buyers, 90 days, no payments. And when I look at the prices, we're back to where we were pre-COVID. And so with these discounts, we're getting back to normal. Things are happening. I understand people's hesitancy right now, but if you're upside down, and that's another thing I'm seeing a lot of the last couple of weeks, people just really upside down, coming to the end of those 3-year, 36,000-mile warranties, and they're worried, and rightfully so. And so they're worried about payments after that. They want to trade in, but they're worried about those payments. Hey, give me the opportunity to run the numbers. Just come by, give me a call. We can do it over the phone. And you can reach me. We're at 1000 Truman Baker Drive, or you can call me at 501-593-4486 and just ask for Sam.
Hey, Sam, you're the man. And like I said, I needed that today. You put me in good spirits by hearing that. I love your passion when it comes to football. And, it's just very tough when it comes to being a Razorback fan. So if you want to be in good spirits, go check out my man, Sam. I know a lot of people in Searcy need to have their spirits lifted after what OBU did to Harding, we're not even going to talk about that. I mean, you talk
No.
about a shocker. I'm just going to let that one slide. All right, we won't even talk about it. But Sam, I really do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you helping support what we're doing here in 4th and 5. Now, unfortunately, I have to continue this breakdown, and it's not going to be pretty. I'll just say that. And it makes you sick to your stomach when you realize so many plays left out on the field that could have changed a lot. So I'll get back to that. Sam, you have a great day.
Thanks, DJ. Take care.
All right, I really look forward to continuing to do that throughout the year. But now let's go ahead and get into this tape. I'm not going to let you wait any longer. All right, let's start with the first drive on defense for Arkansas. And I'm going to go quick on this because enough will be said in the first drive. Then we're going to dig back into the intricacies and how they popped up later in the game. But you can see tempo was going to be a big thing for LSU. And what I mean by tempo, getting the ball out quick. I think what they saw on tape, they knew they could pick and prod Arkansas on defense. Now, as I pause right here, this is something when it comes to scouting this team, one thing I would be aware of when playing this quarterback, if you give him time, he can pick you apart. Is he a rushing threat? 0%. This guy, in the games he's played this far, he averages 1.6 yards a game most of the time when he just has to scramble out of the pocket. So when it comes to a run threat, it is non-existent. And what I'm about to show you on this tape drives me crazy that we didn't make him run the ball. But this is a play kind of setting that up for a little bit later. You can see the defender for Arkansas coming down to the edge. This is an indicator that he has that responsibility. And watch how he plays this read. He just slow plays it. As I pause right there, in my opinion, from what I've seen on tape, I know the quarterback most likely is not going to pull that ball. We should be 100% going for the handoff every single time until they prove otherwise. Until they do that, that's what I'm doing. That's how you force the quarterback to run the ball. He doesn't want to run the ball. He wants to sit in the pocket and throw and hand it off to a running back. So once again, very slow play right here. And number 8, really not getting into the action. Another thing that popped on tape, as I pause, you can probably already know what I'm going to talk about because I tweeted about this during the game. The off coverage on the secondary. And it just blew my mind why we kept doing this. And I'm going to tell you why I think we had to do this a little bit later. But something definitely has to get figured out if you're not going to press. You maybe drop a defensive lineman or a linebacker on the underneath part to maybe give him some support so he can stay deep, the DB. But this right here just ain't cutting him. They did this all day long. This is a 1st and 10. It's just about as easy as a throw and catch you can get just to get you to a manageable 2nd down. And then we get back to it again. There goes the read handoff. And look at my DB out here. Just no emphasis at all of getting his nose in there. Let me run back just a little bit. Knowing that this quarterback isn't a threat, right now, that DB should be 1,000 miles an hour into that line of scrimmage right there, making a play. It's almost like he didn't want the contact right there. I'll show a better angle from another guy a little bit later on. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Let's go ahead and pick it up. And once again, just the off coverage. They literally did this. They did it almost the entire drive. We know what Arkansas is going to do. Boom, 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 boom. And let's see if they make an adjustment. It took them forever to make an adjustment. And when they did, it kind of didn't go too well. And you can see right here. Now we have press coverage. You see my receiver outside. And so as much as I was complaining about why are we not pressing, this is why. I think LSU maybe exposed something that maybe Coach Williams knew was a problem from the get-go. We just haven't come across a team with a quarterback like LSU who has the ability to make these throws and the receiving talent at the whole core that LSU had. It's the first time we came across it. And this is why we didn't go, man. Look at this release up top. Just clean, completely beat. Should have been a touchdown. You had to get the pass interference or you give up a touchdown. And that right there was an indicator of okay, now I get it. So it's just when I kind of get onto the coaching staff on this, you have to figure out other ways to implement it. And they did it from time to time. I think maybe in the second half made the adjustments of dropping a linebacker or someone to help out on the outside. It's just when you do that, it just makes you so vulnerable over the middle of the field and so vulnerable to the run. It's just a tough situation. What would help? this is the game where our DBs finally watched on tape. Okay, we're finna see what we're about. And I hate to say it, straight up, player to player, LSU receivers are just better. They beat our DBs straight up, man to man. It was very tough to watch, and I'm not sure how to fix that right now. That's more of like an off-season training thing, but it is what it is. You got punched in the mouth. How are we going to respond next week? All right, let's go ahead and keep the ball moving. Once again, just a recurring theme. These hitch routes all day long. They could have kept doing it all day long if they wanted to, and they did. And so you get to a first and goal right here, and still this is just the first drive, and then you get this play right here. Uh, a penalty, roughing the passer. Absolutely no excuse to do this. I mean, he got that ball off way enough time for you to ease up right there, putting your team in a very bad situation. You can't have it. Another play right here. I'm going to press pause, and you can see three receivers to the right with your three DBs. They're in man-to-man coverage, and this is almost the worst way to play this. Fortunately, they got called for an offensive pass interference, but you can tell by the DBs and what they were doing, they weren't going to pass any of this off. That receiver for LSU didn't even need to interfere with that DB at all. We're very fortunate that he did. But just, I don't get this one. I think from what we've seen on tape for LSU, this should have been repped in practice. But the guy guarding the tight end going behind all those DBs to have an easy access, it's just some bad football. Now that backed him up second and goal and then leads us to this play. We already had Sam break it down, so we won't get into the weeds with it. Sam did a great job. I appreciate him and the support that his whole company has for 4th and 5. All right, let's get to the offensive first drive of the game. And I would say this is the second play, 2nd and 5. And this was promising to see. Andrew Armstrong, nice catch across the middle. Once again, Armstrong is a dog, one of the best receivers in the country, not just the SEC. But there's one thing that kind of popped out on tape. When I saw this, even live in the game, I was like, uh-oh. Second play of the game, look at our right tackle. And now these guys from LSU, they're talented. Just look at this. That right there, he lost his footing. But that kind of let me know it's going to be a tough day when it comes to protecting Talon. Now we switched some things around. We put Blackstock inside where he belongs. Still struggling, though. And this was just, it's a different ball game for Harris. And I'm going to give him a little slack playing guard all year than throwing him out there on an island. That's tough, but he did his best. And I wouldn't say played too bad, to be honest, given the circumstance. But that just lets you know the talent that was coming, and Taylor was going to have a tough day getting protection. But, hey, we managed. We moved on. Let's get to the 2nd and 6 right here. This was great. I think this is where Talon thrives, letting them roll out, get outside of the pocket, and the ball's moving. We're moving on our first drive. All right, and then we get to this play right here. Missed opportunity. I can't talk about this enough. Talon has consistently shown us when it comes to these small windows, which a lot of quarterbacks, especially starting in the SEC, if you want a successful team, you just have to hit these throws. You got Jordan Anthony going down the seam, ball underthrown. I mean, just look at that. How much space is in the back of the end zone? And the thing is, what's hard for me is you rep this in practice 1,000 times. You make that throw 1,000 times. What is it about game day? Let's move on. Okay, so now we pick up on this 3rd and 8. And LSU's just doing some weird stuff. They line up all their guys in a line, trying to take advantage of what Arkansas has shown on tape. They struggle picking up confusing looks. I'll deal with this all day. I mean, that guy's 8 yards off the ball. We can manage that. Unfortunately, however, they still got pressure. But I think later on in the game, when they do this look again, Talon understands if they do this, I'm going to have guys open. So you can see right here, Talon gets out of the pocket, a very weird look. These guys coming from depth. But as we did all this, this is a 3rd and 8, okay? Take a look at this angle right here. As I press pause right here, he has options. The DB's playing so far off. If you get this ball out instantly to Isaiah Satania on the speed out, I mean, ball's out now. You give Isaiah an opportunity to turn it up and get the first down, okay? That's option number 1. You don't like that one? Cool. You got, when all of this from the middle just rushes, it leaves the middle of the field wide open, all right? So this linebacker is on a complete island. And I'll say this, Tesla in these situations has shown he'll get open. A quarterback should trust that and get this ball out. Look at this route. Completely comes open. Ball should have been out. and he didn't have to avoid this pressure. Now, he may take a hit on the chin. That's just part of it. Take that hit, move on, get the first down. Let's go score. It's getting frustrating that this is still a thing on tape. And I know he has his highlights, and I know he's coming back from an injury, but you have to make these plays and on this stage, number 8 in the country, season still all ahead of you. Anything's possible. These plays matter. I don't care if you think I'm being nitpicky or not. These plays matter, and I'm hoping that they're addressed on tape. And I don't know the immediate fix. One would say, okay, bring in Singleton. I feel like there's a reason he's not there yet. So if this is our best option in Talon, like, trust the process, man. Trust the offense. The plays are there. Let's just make them. All right, here we go. And I get it, still year one. Yes, I know. I'm being very extremely impatient. Year 2 could be a completely different story, but that's then I'm more focused on worrying about right now. And then you miss the field goal. This is enough. And a situation like this, 4th and 4, in my opinion, now you're in 4-down territory. We have shown if it's a manageable 4th down, go for it. All right, let's move along. Let's get back to what I was kind of talking about earlier. This is a repeat from that first drive when I was talking about the read option. How many times are they going to do it for you to understand? Just crash down on the running back. This guy's not going to run. There's a play right here, 2nd and 1. Look at this DB up top, chilling. He should be firing in that hole, blowing that up, and making contact behind the line of scrimmage. Who cares about that quarterback? Show me that you're going to run the ball. He hasn't shown it all year. All year. That's a scouting thing. Right here, Landon Jackson. This is the correct way to play this, okay? I give you that. The way he's playing it right now, any quarterback that is a potential dual threat, this is the way to play it. Once again, if we've done our research and we've looked at this guy, he ain't pulling that ball. I am perfectly okay with having peace with knowing, hey, if he pulls it and beat us that way, we'll adjust. But until we see it on tape, Landon should be crashing this down on this 2nd 15. Another tackle for a loss, put them in a 3rd and 18. It just happened way too often all day. And believe me, look at this. Same thing. This DB's outside hesitating. He should be firing in here. Now, as I press play, you tell me, once he makes his mind up to get in here and try to make this play, if he is committing to this and if he's being physical or not. That looks like you're avoiding contact. We talk about standards on the defensive side of the ball. A standard for all defensive players that they need some dog in them. That's a little, I wouldn't even say a puppy, all right? Because sometimes puppies get aggressive, all right? You shouldn't pass up on an opportunity to fill that hole and knock somebody's teeth out. That's just frustrating to see on tape. All right, here we go. Let's keep moving along. Another play right here. Same ordeal. Look at Landon Jackson. The same read option. Why are you wasting time? And especially now, ball's already handed off. You should be crashing down. Look at the 1st down marker. An opportunity to squeeze this down and potentially tackle him at the line of scrimmage. Just really late. He still gets the tackle, but you shouldn't give up a 1st down right there. All right. So, and again, this one is even over the top to the point to where you even chase the quarterback after handing it off. This is 2nd quarter, so I'm not sure the adjustments at half at this point, but that was just very unfortunate to see. All right, now let's get away from that. Let's get back to the other thing that was wearing me out, and it was this off coverage of not figuring out a way to get them to stop throwing these hitch routes. This is like serving it up on a silver platter when it comes to letting this offense. The biggest thing was time of possession. We couldn't get their offense off the field. It's because of plays like this. I mean, just serving it up for them, make it easy 1st down completion, picking up 8 yards. Take that all day. And when that happens, you put yourself in a 2nd and 2, it opens up the whole playbook. You can go deep. You can go mid-range. You can hand off. You can do whatever you want to do. Screenplays, take shots. It's all available, and it's very tough for a defense to try to keep in mind 2nd and 2, great field position. Everything's on the table. Very difficult to try to get a grasp on what the offense wants to do when you put it in the situation. Another one right here, 1st down. I'm going to let you guess. What do you think is going to happen here? Just look at the tape. Yeah, you probably guessed it right. Look how much cushion that receiver has up top. Quarterback knew he was going there before he even snapped the ball. Okay. All right, let's get to another one down here. You can see, you can't see it right here. It's at the very top of the screen, but you can see their shadows. Okay. Very top of the screen, just too far off. Quarterback doesn't waste any time. Get it out real quick. An easy completion, takes a 1st and 15 to a 2nd and manageable. And then we can just keep this tape rolling. This one right here blew my mind. Hold on, let me run that back real quick. I've never seen this. And I was watching this one live. I remember watching it saying, what is he doing? Why is he not jumping this ball? I know he sees it coming to him. He literally sat there and waited on him. And this is where, when I see stuff like this, it's hard for me not to think, why are y'all not locked in right now? We had so much success. This team, unfortunately, reminded me of something that I saw last year. When we went down to Florida and beat Florida for the first time ever at home, for Florida, that is, and then came back and just completely looked like a team that didn't belong on a football field. I think it was against Auburn the following week. I feel like it was a team who didn't know how to handle success. You get some success, then you start getting in your head and feeling good about yourself, and then your preparation leading up to the game slowly starts to fall off because you start saying, DBs especially, man, everybody in the country is talking about how good the DBs are right now. We feeling ourselves. We doing this. We're going to get out there and shut these LSU boys down. Lack of preparation starts to seep in your mindset and your approach to the game all week. Then you have plays like this. I don't get it. I hate it. Hopefully it gets addressed. Intensity and practice would help. But the biggest lesson to kind of get over that, unfortunately, are games like this of like, why did you not show up prepared to play? LSU came to play, for sure. I mean, I get it too. LSU being scheduled for the opposing team's homecoming. If you didn't think LSU was going to come up here with a chip on their shoulder after being scheduled for homecoming, which is supposed to be a gimme win, huh? All right. All right. So we talked about off coverage, and then I showed you this play from earlier about why I think we had to maybe stay there is because of our ability to cover these guys in press. You saw up there, once again, this is a play from earlier, just getting beat off the line. And unfortunately, it showed up quite often. Look at this receiver up top, being beat off the line of scrimmage, being caught behind. Easy throw and catch for a first down. We'll take a look at another one. Take a look up top. He doesn't even throw to this guy up top, all right? But look at this release. Got past him. I was looking at this live, and I thought he was about to throw it for a touchdown. I was shocked when I saw that he was throwing it to the other side. But then I looked at the other side, and another guy completely wide open. Before we finish that play, let me roll it back just a little bit. Look how much time this guy has to go through his progression. He's looking to the left. He checks out the middle where the safety is. He keeps the safety there. He goes to his right, even has time to pump fake, and then throw again. I mean, that's being oh. I get why we weren't in press. I think if you're going to keep them off, Coach Williams should have put something in the defense to give them some help underneath. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Fortunately, we have a guy now with 4th and 5 named Matt Harris. Who's going to break all this tape down, and we're going to get his perspective on what he think the defense should have done to give those corners some help on the outside. Let's get to a one right here. What's going on in this play? Okay, let me talk about missed opportunities. Let me roll this back just a little bit. First of all, great pressure by Landon Jackson. But plays like this, when you get pressure, Nussmeier's been known for making some bad decisions and throwing balls up. And this was one right here. Threw it up. And I get this as a gimme play. But too many of these happen in the game. DBs have to understand in games like this, you need to come down with that ball, especially when you're in good position. You have to be a ball hawk and make something special. You can see the guys already celebrating, thinking that he's going to pick this off. Doesn't get it, comes down. All right, that's something I want to point out too. He's doing this. Okay. I get that's number 13 celebration. Okay, he's doing this. All right. I'm all about swag. I'm all about what comes with the DB position, confidence and all this, but at least reserve it for big time plays. And that one, this is just me being personal. I would have loved for him to understood the opportunity he had to get an interception in a game changing play and be a little bit more like, I gotta get that one. I gotta get that one. Instead of this right here. All right. Reserve this for the big time plays. When something good, you know what I'm talking about? It was tough for me. I'll let that. But once again, let's just get to Landon. First of all, great job by Landon. Great pressure. And I'll give you this. As much crap as I've given Landon, which I will continue to give him crap because I think he can take it and I think he has potential to be great. We haven't seen a lot of him this year, but that pass rush move right there, let me run that back. That's against a tackle who's going to be playing on Sundays, potentially a first-round draft pick. That's beautiful. We just got to get a little bit more of that. Another one right here, Landon on the top, getting pressure once again, probably held right there. I'll talk more about penalties here in a little bit, but another missed opportunity. Same thing. Should have been an interception. And this is tough for me because he's been playing great all year. All right. I just need a little bit more awareness. We need that interception. That's another one where it's just like, we got to get that. Just too caught up. Success. You have to be able to handle success. Should have been an easy pick from the get-go. Great job in coverage. Look at that. That's beautiful. Locates the ball. That's beautiful job. Let's go get that ball. TJ Metcalf, bad angle too on this one. A little bit more spatial awareness. And when opportunities present themselves, we have to take care of it. We have to capitalize on it. Another one right here, right in the middle. I'm watching this one live. As you can see, Worth right here. Great call right here on defense. Sees it coming from a mile away. I saw this live. Ball was in his hands. So you have to come down with those right there. Just think about at this point in the game too. This was one of the weirdest games. It was just like I felt like we're playing so bad, but it's 16-10, and it seems like we had the whole game ahead of us. It was so bizarre. And now that I go back and look at the tape, how many opportunities we had to not only keep them out of the end zone, but prevent them from kicking field goals and just keeping it tighter and tighter, giving our offense more possessions. I mean, it was missed opportunities like this that kept those drives going for them and keeping us on the field too long on the defensive side of the ball. All right, let's get to now. This one is, I know it's an offsides. All right, Spence almost timed this up perfect. All right, you see him right there. But even then, there was a miscommunication on the offensive line, and they let him run free. So if he was early or not, he was going to run free. And so let's just, for sake of argument, say he timed that up perfectly. He runs free. Nussmeier gets out of the pocket, and then you throw this ball up right here, and it gets tipped right there. You have to catch that. I get it doesn't count because it was a flag. It was this close from being a fair, a live play, and you just miss these opportunities. You can't afford that in the SEC. It's plays like this that change everything. Got to have that pick. All right, that's the defensive side of the ball. And like I said, this is the first time I felt like our defense really struggled. And listen to this. Even though they struggled, they still really didn't give up much. You got to think of the fumble that the offense had, and then the interception that we're going to talk about here in a second, putting them in bad field position. How many times did we hold them to a field goal? I mean, all of that bad still in the ball game. All right. Now, LSU having like 1,000 penalties really didn't help themselves, and they were still able to get over that. So I guess we'll address that later. Let's get into the offensive side of the ball. This first down right here, like I said, that's about what we got on the offense. Fumble, but we move along, get the ball back, 13-0, and you would think at some point for old Razorback fans, we'd think, okay, wheels are about to fall off. But I was impressed with these drives. We were able to move the ball, and you can see them switching it up right here. Taylor makes a check, 1st and 10, and this was interesting because even when teams dial up the perfect blitz, and I see what they did here. LSU's tricky on this one. Let me run this back to the beginning. They know we've been struggling up front with pass protection. And so what they did right here, you see this linebacker. Let me go back just a little bit more. You see number 8. He ran up to the line of scrimmage. All right. I don't have the full clip, but he ran up right before the snap, and Talon thought he was coming. Did a slide protection. Everyone's supposed to block those 4, and you're going to have one-on-one with the right tackle in that defensive end. So he thought he switched that protection. That was what he was talking. And LSU's so brilliant at this one because they know we've been struggling, and they know that we've been telling Talon to get into a slide protection to help with that. So when he came up, they knew what he was going to do, and then they switched who blitz, and they brought number 40, who was just balling out all week or all game long. He was impressive to watch, but still then Talon's still making something out of nothing. Another one right here, a little delayed blitz, and a great job, I'm assuming, by Carmona, because you can see a guy coming free. But look at Carmona with his eyes, understanding the most dangerous man, as Grant Cook would always say, who has the closest path to the quarterback. Now, I think that linebacker was a little late, and Carmona could have got away with it if he stayed on his defensive end, but I think his processing is right there. Taylor does a great job getting the ball out, picking up a 2nd and 8. All right, let's keep it going. 1st and 10 right here. Let's see what we got going on. Taylor gets out of the pocket, makes a beautiful play on the sideline. Now, once again, this is where I get very critical with Taylor. He did all of that, and he didn't have to, okay? If we want to start being more consistent, we have to hit the plays when they're there, all right? And 1st and 10, just get a positive yardage. Look at Luke Has come off the ball, turns up in the middle of the field. No one's there. It's kind of out of frame. I'll go back just a little bit, but you can see him idling down right there. That ball should be out right now. He's looking right at him. I don't get what's holding him up right there. Ball should have been out, get you about 6-7 yards, get you to a great 2nd down, but he holds it way too much. This time it turns out to be okay, but that's just not the case every single time with Taylor. He's going to do a 1st and 10. This is the touchdown play. Great throw across his body. And LSU right here, look at this. This kind of threw me off. I'm not exactly sure what they had going on. If I press pause right here, he could have threw it to anyone. You have Andrew Armstrong open, obviously for the easy touchdown. You have a guy, I'm not sure who it is right here, but he's running down the middle of the field with his hand up completely wide open. And then you have a guy in the flat right at the 20-yard marker completely wide open. I mean, he could have picked anyone to throw this ball to. Huge breakdown on the LSU side, leaving everyone open. That was pretty wild. Never seen anything like that. All right, let's get to a 2nd and 4. And once again, we're going to talk about just getting the ball out and decision-making. Great job for Andrew Armstrong as we kind of keep it rolling. And I will say this is the situation where defense had a turnover. We get the ball back. We're slowly starting to get some momentum. And right before that play, you can see the yard marker. It's 2nd and 4. But unfortunately, we get a holding call. I will address that holding call here in just a second because I don't think it was a hold. But 2nd and 20, we end up converting this. Very impressive, right? With especially game on the line, getting close down to the 2-minute, trying to score. Great play right here. Armstrong picks up this little slant route. And then LSU went back to what they did on that 3rd down previously. Stacked all these. This is stupid to me. But Taylor learned, okay, the middle of the field's going to be open. I just need to get the ball out. He didn't escape, stayed in the pocket, got the 1st down. Very impressive. All right, let's get to this 1st and 10. This is a play. Now, I'm going to talk more about this here in just a second. And I'll give you my opinion. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? That ends up not being called anything. Now we're at 2nd and 10. And then we get to this play right here. And once again, y'all got to stay with me when I talk about penalties here in just a second. I'll give you my opinion on that. That leads us to this 3rd and 10, okay? And as I let it run right here, you can see Taylor gets flushed out, misses Isaiah. But if we run this back, once again, Taylor needing to know the concepts of the offense and when to get the ball out. They're showing this guy chasing, so it's going to be man. Look at Isaiah right now. This guy's on his hip. Taylor needs to understand drag route on 3rd down, most likely going to be in man, to get that ball out right now. Clean pocket. All he has to do is step up. Those rushers are rushing so wide. Step up. The middle of the pocket's clean and get that ball. If you get it to Isaiah now and lead him, he easily catches that and turns it up for a 1st down. That was very unfortunate. It killed the drive. But defense somehow did their thing, got the ball back, and here we are again. It's 16-7, 3rd quarter. Let's go ahead and press play right here. This is a 3rd and 10. This is something I wish we had built in. They're bringing pressure. So 2 come off the nose. All right. So obviously bringing more than we can block. I would love for us to have these built-in hots, which I don't believe we do, and I would love for that ball to be out right now. I would love for Isaac Tesla to know 2 are coming. We can't block him. I'm going to be hot because I'm the inside receiver. As soon as he come off the ball, I'd love him to turn his head and boom, the ball be on him. We don't have that built in, I believe, on our offense, but still, Talon, delivers that ball and we get the first. I'm just kind of thinking of other situations where that may come back to haunt us. All right, let's keep going. 1st and 10 right here. And this was where we kind of started falling apart. Things I couldn't make sense of. Let me run that back. You see Braylon kind of getting held up. I don't understand what Talon's doing here. This has been Talon's bread and butter. Be a threat. Be a dual threat. Look at this read as I press pause right now. Let me go back just a smidge. I'm going to be fair. Yeah. This linebacker, Weeks, I believe, is coming at an angle where he's taking the run. All right. Talon's looking right at him, and he should be pulling this ball. Lucas should be wrapping around, blocking outside, and this should be an easy, maybe a first down, if not more, for Talon. But he hands this ball off. Bad read. And then the Hogs have to end up settling for a field goal on that drive, and we hit a 51-yarder. How about a 51-yarder? It'd be nice to hit the other ones too. But yeah, it's 16-10. All right, so defense did their thing, got the ball back again. This is where everyone thought this is it. And then this play happens, and everything changed. Pass breakup. He just timed up the blitz perfect. It's hard to be critical about anything. Football just happens, all right? But even now, 16-10, say they score, which they do. The game's not out of reach. It's early in the 3rd quarter. Just that dude right there was all over the field. I like good football players, so I'm going to give shout outs to him quite often. He deserves them. All right, let's keep it going. And so we get the ball back, and this is where, it seems like everything's staying alive. Good first play. Get it to Satania. Great job there. Game's still well within reach. Another play right here. Takes his time in the pocket. Gets it to Satania again. We're moving. We get to the second one. Great handoff. Everything's still rocking and rolling. And then we have a play with a negative play right here. I'm going to focus on Blackstock. But first, when we talk about blocking, especially on the second level, linemen don't need to go where a linebacker is. They need to go to where he's going to be. We know it's an outside zone. Blackstock needs to know, I just can't run straight for this guy because then I'm going to get behind him. Go to where he's going to be. Meet him at that point of attack to get this block. Just a poor angle. And then number 40 gives Braylon Russell, who I love, his welcome to the SEC moment. I mean, this right here by 40, woo! That's a football hit right there. If you love football, I don't care what kind of fan you are. You got to love that. Welcome to the SEC, Braylon Russell. All right, so now we get to a 2nd and 10, and that's when things kind of start falling apart. Sorry, in the phone call. That's when things start falling apart, and it gets back to the reads with Talon Green. Once again, he throws that one to the flat, but if you look at Lucas right there, that's the matchup you want. Wide open, right at the first down marker, but he gets the ball out to the flat. Misread right there. Then you get to a 3rd down, and once again, look at Isaac Tesla sitting in the middle of the field. Get the ball out, holding it way too long. Ends up running right here and gets sacked. And that was pretty much all she wrote for the Razorbacks. But all right, so this is where it's just unfortunate situations that happen in the game. I still feel like Arkansas had plenty of opportunity to make something happen, to keep themselves in that ball game. Came out so flat. I think defensively it was a poor performance, and the LSU offensive coordinator had Travis's number this week. And the thing about Travis, he's a competitor. I know he's going to bounce back and get that thing rolling. And offensively, I hate to say it, as much as I love Coach Petrino, these numbers we've been putting up ain't it. And if it continues, us having 10 points, 16 points, 13 points, not having these high averages of being able to compete in the SEC, something's got to change. What has to change? Here, I'll let y'all tell me what you think. All right, now I know a lot of y'all want to talk about these penalties, okay? I'm not a big fan of talking about them because there's nothing you can do about them, but for your entertainment, let's just get right into it. Here's a 3rd and 6 that got picked up right here. A great route by the receiver. But if I go back and slow this thing down, I think the running back for LSU, pause right there, got away with the hold on our defensive end. A huge, huge part of the game right here. Look at the field position. They pick up the first. This should have been a hold. This should have been 3rd and 16. Missed call on the officials, in my opinion. All right, let's get to this next one right here. This was a hell of a catch by Broden on the sideline. Got both feet down. It should have been a first down. It ends up being a 2nd and 20 because they had a hold on our right tackle. Let me slow this down and take a closer look. I don't see it. I mean, referee is right there. The defensive end slips. Another bad call. Very bad call, in my opinion. I don't get that one, and I watched that one a few times. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Another play right here. I think this is the shot that Broden took right here over the middle. Originally got called to targeting, and I'll say this one right here. Let me roll this thing back. I don't have a problem with this play. A lot of people may not agree with me, but I don't. The ball shouldn't have went there in the first place. Look at the safety. See the safety at the snap? He goes to the middle of the field, and you're going to throw this skinny post right into the middle of the field. You'd be surprised. My girlfriend said those are the hospital balls, 100%. First, she kind of shook me when she said that she knew that. But Talon can't throw this ball. I mean, you're throwing your guy into a decapitation right there. And I think that player from LSU handled that perfectly. Led with the shoulder, hit him right in the chest. Broden just shook. That's the one where the quarterback needs to come to the sideline and say, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm going to get you a steak dinner after the game. That one's on me. I owe you." Would love to hold on to that ball. That's how football used to be played right there. I'm actually happy that a penalty wasn't called. Razorback fans, I get it. But I would love for that style of football to come back because that was clean. It wasn't at the head. It wasn't at the neck. It wasn't helmet to helmet. That was just a good football hit. And I miss that sometimes while watching the games. All right, let's get to another one right here. This is the very next play. A lot of Razorback fans wanted a pass interference, and I'm okay without a flag being thrown. I just look at it from if we were on defense. If you look from this angle, yeah, the DB gets his head around, locates the ball. What Jordan Anthony could have done to help get this call is actually try to go get the ball. You have to be very aggressive of trying to catch it. But I think he was just relying on the pass interference, and that's not a real big attempt at trying to catch the ball. Look at that. He's kind of jumping away from it. I think if he would have lunged forward towards the ball, it would have helped his cause. But I think that's just good defense. And I get it. Some of y'all may disagree with me. Now, I will tell you what is good defense. This play right here, when this got called a pass interference, I about lost my mind. I'm okay with you doing that on this one because that was a hell of a good play. All right. And I don't think he should have got flagged on that one, especially if Jordan Anthony's didn't get flagged. I think those were about the same play when it comes to defense. Yeah, don't agree with that one at all. I'm like that guy right there. What? Yeah. Actually, I was more like this guy in the press box. Yeah. What the hell's going on? I get it, bro. Whoever you are. I like that polo. All right, y'all. That's all I got for you here today. Once again, big shout out to our sponsor for making this happen today. Sorry if I got long-winded. It was just a lot to cover in this week's tape. We got a whole week lined up for you. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, Tuesday night, for Matt Harris's defensive breakdown. All those things I just showed, he's really going to get into the weeds and probably have a field day with it because he's extremely critical when it comes to watching tape, as most coaches, all coaches should be. Grant Cook, there's a whole bunch of offensive line things I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to save that for let Grant Cook. And don't forget, Wednesday, I'm doing my viewer comments. So if you have questions, now is the time to ask them so I can maybe pick a few of them to make sure that I talk about on Wednesday for our viewer comments. But we got a big week of 4th and 5 lined up. Season still ahead of us, 4-3. A lot more football to be played. And let's pump the brakes a little bit. on. We can't be one week thinking if we win out, we're going to the playoffs, to the very next week thinking, oh, we suck, fire everybody, the season's over. Let's pump brakes a little bit, all right? I get the emotion, and I actually love that about our fan bases. We're so emotional when it comes to it, but still a lot of football. I still saw a lot of things on tape that are extremely fixable, but I think that game really came down to our DBs versus their receivers, and that was just a mono, and they got the better of us. It was very impressive on their side to see what they could bring to the table. And once again, another shout out to that linebacker, number 40 for Meeks or for LSU. It's hard for me giving praise to LSU, but number 40, if you're watching this, you're playing some football, man. That was special to see. I appreciate y'all watching 4th and 5.